Good morning, everybody. I'd like to extend a warm thank you to all of you for joining us today on this very memorable occasion on our way to our goal to achieve carbon neutrality. It's really good to be here in TMMP with you to celebrate this moment in person. And I'm truly thankful to stakeholders in the national and local authorities for being here today and for your continued support to Toyota in Poland. In Toyota, we recognize that the future of mobility will be zero emissions, and towards that goal, we're preparing a full lineup of battery electric vehicles, which our CEO, Akio Toyoda, revealed just 3 days ago. Besides battery electric vehicles, we're also convinced that there will be other solutions. And it's well known that we've been investing in hydrogen fuel cell vehicles because we believe that hydrogen will play a key role in reducing CO2 emissions around the world and in Europe. And here in Poland, we're very proud to support the hydrogen promotion project in the Lower Silesia Hydrogen Valley. And I'd like to acknowledge the presence here today of their representatives. Toyota also believes that in our journey towards carbon neutrality, there is still a lot to do before zero-emission vehicles can be widely used. In various places around the world and several countries in Europe, it will still take some time to have the infrastructure and the clean energy supply in place before it makes sense for the whole market to switch to zero-emission mobility. This is why we introduced the Toyota Prius 25 years ago, and we've continued to refine our hybrid technology and offer it in an ever wider range of vehicles. As a result, Toyota leads in CO2 reductions in Europe, and Toyota customers have been able to start their carbon reduction journey with us thanks to a full lineup of accessible low-emission vehicles. Now, TMMP has been a crucial part of that journey, and we started production of electrified mobility powertrain in Poland in 2018, when we then launched our first hybrid project in Wałbrzych, the 1.8-litre eCVT transaxle, part of the fourth generation hybrid powertrain. TMMP was the first plant outside of Asia and the second outside of Japan to be entrusted with the production of Toyota's technologically advanced hybrid transaxles. 3 years on, with a strong focus on the future of electrified mobility, Toyota has continued to invest in the European production of electrification powertrain components, as well as the latest generation engines built on Toyota new global architecture. Today we have 3 production lines each for TNGA hybrid engines and hybrid transaxles. And this translates to a capacity increase of 76%. Not only that, we are producing now the motor generator 1, which forms an integral part of the hybrid electric transmission. With electric motors, TMMP is making the heart of our hybrid cars, including the heart of the 4th generation Yaris, which I'm delighted to say was the car of the year 2021. Finally, TMMP is now part of the European hybrid powertrain research and development function since the establishment of the hybrid drive testing and evaluation department last year. As TMMP's transformation into an electrified mobility plant, as that continued, Toyota's hybrid electric cells achieved remarkable growth at an unprecedented speed in the last 3 years. In the last 3 years, the hybrid mix increased from 30% to 60% of our European sales and has reached 70% in Western Europe. Our hybrid growth in Poland has been equally strong. Both our hybrid sales volume and our hybrid mix doubled. The hybrid mix now stands at 55%. Thanks to Polish government's fiscal support to our customers who purchase hybrids, the hybrid market in Poland has almost tripled. And almost 70% of Polish hybrid customers have picked a Toyota vehicle as a hybrid so far this year. I think all of us today can be extremely proud to have made such a significant contribution to the wider adoption of electrified mobility in Poland and Europe, thereby reducing CO2 emissions. But we're not going to stop there. We will further localize hybrid production components by adding motor generator 2 to TMMP in the product lineup next year. We will also continue modernizing our production lines to prepare for the next generation of hybrid. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our members for their hard work that has made these projects such a tremendous success. You know, when our plants in Wałbrzych and Jastrzębie were established, we specialized in petrol and diesel engines and transmissions. But the story of TMMP since 2018 is one of incredible adaptation, flexibility, and speed. And that proves that it's possible to transition to electrification whilst respecting prior investments in local operations. It's also a testament to the high work ethic and agility of the people we are proud to call our members. Because of the COVID-19 restrictions, you have overcome tremendous challenges of implementing 4 projects out of 6 with minimum on-site support from colleagues from Japan and Belgium. The teamwork had to happen remotely. And I'd also like to recognize the huge contributions to this success by our members at Toyota Motor Corporation Japan and Toyota Motor Europe, and I know some of you are here today. Finally, thank you to everyone for achieving these projects whilst ensuring every member's safety. As leader of European manufacturing, this means so much to me. Safety is our #1 priority. Thank you for your attention, everyone. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Szanowna Pani Minister,
Dear Minister, dear CEOs, dear representatives of Toyota, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the invitation to this wonderful ceremony, and I'd like to congratulate from the depth of my heart for the launching of the hybrid powertrain line as the Japanese ambassador to Poland. I'm very glad.
TMMP has been operating in Poland for around 20 years, and TMPL has been here for 30 years. With the help of the Polish government and SEZs, TMMP has been able to steadily expand its operation, production, and to meet the needs of the times. When I visited the company's factory in June this year, I was very impressed with the strong pride and high morale of everybody working here. In Poland, Toyota is #1 seller of new cars, 56% which are hybrid vehicles. Toyota cars have the second largest market share, not only in Poland but also in the EU. About 60% of their sales are hybrid. This shows the popularity of hybrid cars, which are environmentally friendly, economically competitive, and very fuel efficient. I myself came here today by Lexus and drive a Yaris in my private life. and I'm very, very happy. TMMP has already started moving into the future. Working together with the Polish government, local government authorities, and public transport authorities, TMMP has been promoting strongly on hydrogen energy, the clean energy of the future. It will reduce CO2 emissions and contribute to the carbon neutrality through building a hydrogen society. I have learned that Toyota's Mirai hydrogen vehicle are produced by taking full advantage of the achievement of hybrid vehicle technology Toyota has done. In other words, hybrid technology will remain essential for building a bright hydrogen future. Last month, we displayed the Mirai car at our reception in Warsaw. It was very well received. I also took a test drive and was very impressed with the quietness, smoothness of the car, which once again proved Toyota's high level of technology. Let me reiterate my congratulations and also express my sincere hope that many people all across Europe can enjoy smooth and comfortable driving experience of the cars with hybrid engines that this plant with cutting-edge technology will produce. Życzę Państwu wielu sukcesów.
Japan and Poland are two countries of continued friendship. Thank you very much. Dear President, Your Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, now starting of the second generation motors ends the first stage of transformation in a plant, bringing the conventional plant into modern hybrid stage. We are starting a moment where majority of production of both Toyota plants in Poland are low-emission powertrains. Electromobility is a dynamically growing business worldwide, and this helps us to contribute to lowering of emissions in the transport sector. The current ICE development of lowering of emissions is coming to an end, and this gives an opportunity to countries that are not automatically so established, but are determined and want to make a technology leap and to take part in the new stream in the development of worldwide societies, and we want to take part of this. We can see the new technologies is part of what we want. This helps Polish businesses and institutions to take part in the attractive electric drive production trend, also for electric and hydrogen-powered buses that are already produced. But this requires new production capacities, and that's why the battery demand for batteries will keep growing. And Poland has been bringing direct investments worldwide, and we are popular among the investors. We are also one of the top worldwide component production producers, including batteries. We are number one lithium battery exporters, and compared to 2019, the value of Polish exports grew by 2 billion euros, which was the largest annual growth in exports for one specific item. Looking at the considerably growing electric vehicle sales, this trend will continue, and Meeting these opportunities, we are bringing regulations in line with the needs of the automotive industry. And on the 7th of December, the President of Poland signed an act in this area to make electromobility growth easier and quicker. Our national law has been brought in line with European regulations in clean and electrical vehicles in transport. So we also regulated charging points in the various areas, for example, asking for allowing to build a charging point when asked by residents of buildings. With new regulations, there will be a possibility for financial support if a business person is not buying a vehicle but is taking as a leasing, which is the number one selected by financing solutions by business people. So we're working for our economy to grow rapidly. We are doing taking many steps to help locate in Poland new investments by supporting Polish capital in the small and businesses, but also bringing direct foreign investment into Poland. We are in constant touch with the business world, and we are bringing this in line with their needs. And I'd like to congratulate the CEO and other officials for your launching of the line. And for bringing a common good. And I'd like to, on behalf of Mr. Morawiecki, Dworczyk, and Kubow, congratulate and thank for bringing industry into something that is more environmentally friendly and closer to all of us. Thank you very much. And now we're cutting the ribbon together. Thank you very much. Excellency, Madam Minister, Mr. Starost, the CEOs, representatives of Toyota, all guests and participants, I'm very glad to be part of this exceptional event. Just like my predecessor here has said, the history of Toyota is a history of a very good, excellent cooperation with the local population. Without Toyota, without this decision taken many years back, the economic zone would not have been here in Wałbrzych in a formula where we see it right now, and Wałbrzych would not be what it is today without that decision and without that investment. But indeed, the influence of Toyota on the life of the Wałbrzych population, of the town and the region and the entire Lower Silesia goes well beyond what we learn from the important press releases about one or another production line. Toyota, to us, is a mark of progress, which in industrial culture, in working culture and technology progress has been going on in Poland, in Lower Silesia and in Wałbrzych. Lower Silesia is one of the fastest growing region across the EU, and investments in special economic zones are a major part of this development, and the Toyota's investment in Wałbrzych is the best example of that. The fact that our inhabitants, our population here in Wałbrzych, value the opportunity to work for Toyota here. The plant is absolutely obvious. But I can say that my predecessors, the previous local and regional authorities, have always been glad to work with cooperation with Toyota way beyond just the production, and I subscribe to this. So the respect for social and cultural life, also sports in Wałbrzych, also extreme care for the environment and the setting of trends in this area makes Toyota a very special contributor in Wałbrzych and in Lower Silesia, especially in terms of the economy, but also in the environment. And we're very glad that this production line and what has become a new component of Toyota's life is also setting a direction which Lower Silesia, but also Poland and Europe is taking in Green New Deal, and we are very glad to be part of it. I'd like to thank all of you who are involved in it. We're counting on more, and we are ready to help. So congratulations and thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, Madam Minister, Your Excellency Ambassador, all guests, and most of all, my dear colleagues, it is a very important day in our history of more than 20 years, and this ceremony ends the transformation period that we started in 2018 by producing the first hybrid powertrain outside of Japan, outside of Asia. And in that time, we have made this huge transformation from ICE into the European electrical powertrain in Europe. We power hybrids, that's our motto. Almost 70% of our production is hybrid, and this is growing alongside the demand for hybrids in Europe. So we can say that in European Toyotas, the beating heart, it comes from Poland. The pace and scale of change since 2018 or over the last 4 years was huge and unprecedented in Toyota plants worldwide. My predecessor, Mr. Takeichi, with huge experience at Toyota, more than 40 years, working at the production planning department, starting various projects worldwide, he told me that it was for the first time he had seen so many new projects in such a short time. So with more than 2 billion zlotys spent in the two plants, we started 6 new production lines for hybrid powertrains, including transaxles and TMGA. We hired 1,000 new employees for the new lines. The last powertrain, transaxle, and the MG motor we are starting today. These components are put into Toyota Yaris, the European Car of the Year 2021, and the Yaris Cross. This new building has the floor space of 13,000 square meters, and it was built from scratch for this particular line. What is important, thanks to the testing of powertrains, electrical hybrid powertrains, we have been improving our components and systematically increasing the Polish component, local component in these products. And we're also building the knowledge among our employees, because knowledge will continue to grow as an important component in who is competitive and who is not. Over the last 4 years, we have not only changed the profile, but also the fundamentals of our production. TMGA lines that we launched are much more automated, digitized, robotized, including cobots and the automatic trolleys. You will see many of these tools and instruments when you tour the plant, and we are very proud from what we have been able to achieve, especially that part of that is comes from our engineers that, working with local suppliers, have created this technology. And thanks to these new, more ergonomic processes, have helped us to achieve more than half of our employees to be women. And I'd like to direct my words now to our colleagues at TMMP. Thanks to your determination and involvement, we have been able to launch new production lines, new technologies, largely on our own, without the support of our Japanese colleagues, as it had happened before. And that was due to the COVID restrictions, obviously. Without your determination, without your involvement, this would not have been possible. And I'd like to also represent Toyota Motor Europe, including Mr. Cook, for locating your investments here in Poland. We have been proving our maturity in running those projects, and we learned, we gained new knowledge in this area, which should contribute to the future in hybrid and other technologies. I'd like to thank you for your involvement that has also helped us to speed up and launch this line by a few weeks. So once again, I'd like to thank representatives of the Toyota Motor Europe, including Mr. Cook, and also I'd like to thank TMC, because without your support it would not have been possible. I'd like to thank representatives of the central and local authorities, and I hope for very good cooperation in the future too. I'd like to also thank Your Excellency, the Ambassador, for continued support. This is not the end of our technology journey. We want to manufacture zero-emission powertrains in the future. As Mr. Cook was saying, we are one of the first businesses in the Lower Silesia Hydrogen Valley that is now being created. This is the beginning of our adventure with this technology that has been growing widely in the profile of Toyota production, and I'm hoping to have more reasons to celebrate in the coming years, which I would like to wish myself, my colleagues, and the representatives of the local authorities.